like you always do. How you
Thanks
doing?
for noticing that.
MODOK will be in She-Hulk.
Oh man, we were talking about MODOK.
Why?
Because I'm looking through the recent comics and MODOK's in here.
Oh my goodness. So is he worth being in She-Hulk?
I want to see what they do with
a
live action MODOK.
There'll also be Hit Monkey, Tigra and Dazzler, and Howard the Duck.
You say Dazzler?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Maybe they're just trying to make that X-Men arcade game come to life. Because we all know that's the only place Dazzler is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Murray, have you watched WandaVision 7.0?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 7.0, yes.
Okay, good.
Version 7.0, where they upgrade Vision to a confused lunatic, yes.
Well, they upgraded Wanda to a confused lunatic too.
Oh, that's right. They're both getting upgrades.
All right,
everybody's confused.
Let's talk about comics first, and then we'll talk about other things that are on our minds.
Sure.
Like Murray not bringing his dad into the conversation.
Yeah, he only wanted to talk about important stuff.
I did want to make a joke about how like I made it that your dad could read the Superman comic and be disappointed.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, you did make that joke.
I couldn't remember.
Broad makes stupid jokes.
So many
Can
jokes.
we get a Coke sponsor, Marcel?
No.
I mean they should sponsor.
So I tried the vanilla one the other day.
Okay.
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah. The dark roast, super good. And I have the other one in my fridge right now, the caramel one.
Mm-hmm.
But
let me know if I should waste more money on that one or not.
I'll let you know. I all I know is Josh brought the vanilla one in, and he's like, "Here, you can have this if you want it." I was like, oh, okay. Darker. Okay, so we're gonna go Cap first, huh?
Well,
all right, I'm pulling that up too.
What do you guys want to go first?
No, let's do it. Cap first.
I like that when in the cover, like that tattoo is being scared of being punched also.
Right.
She's like, no.
Right.
No, please.
So this is Alex Ross, I think, that did this art.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
He paints his artwork.
Really? Like,
yeah.
Amazing.
Are we talking physically paint or digitally paint?
Physically.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Especially, I don't know if I can draw on your screen. I can't. That'd be cool if I could.
That needs to be a new feature, Marcel.
Wait, can you not annotate?
Let's see. Oh, annotate. Okay, here we go. My favorite part of this cover.
Wait, how do you do this? I need to know now.
Is this guy right here?
Yes.
He's pretending to be a Squirtle. Okay, let me see if I can clear that. Can I see this clear? Yeah.
That won't. Yeah, there you go. This guy, I feel like, is getting away with something. Like,
right.
He ducked over the punch, and therefore this lady's getting the brunt of it.
I guess he also put a mouse on screen. Can you see my mouse?
Oh yeah, I do see your mouse. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Oops. Wait, how do I erase my thing? Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you got it.
It takes a second for it to go through.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So am I right? This was number 27 of this run, I think.
Oh boy.
Oof.
Oh yeah. Nice. You can Batman it up.
All right. Yes, it was number 27. It was number 27.
It was
all right.
Interesting that despite this being number 27, it feels like we jumped in at a point where something's happened. Now Captain America's addressing everybody. And at least
but without his mask. Now they're all going to know who he is.
So at least it didn't feel like he got dropped into this too blindly. So that was okay. I didn't feel confused by this.
I think my complaints about these panels is it's some of the worst human drawings I've ever seen. Like Nick Fury looks like he's
Rudolph.
like a fake, and then you got like it's just the perspective is all off.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. And it's funny, like they have the rights to use Samuel L. Jackson's likeness, right?
Yes.
For Nick Fury.
Oh, is that
like,
right?
Yeah, like I think he's even come out and said, if I die and you want to digitally recreate me for Nick Fury, he said I'm 100% okay with that.
Wow.
So like, that doesn't look like Samuel L. Jackson at all.
I like the sign.
He's not dead yet.
The Cap yeah sign is,
yeah.
It actually said like F yeah.
Yeah.
Like Cap's name is literally means F.
Cap's the new F word in comics now.
So I noticed it said Steve Rogers exonerated. So are they coming off of like a, Captain America did something nefarious, and now
I felt that way. Yeah.
I wonder if this is coming off when Steve Rogers was part of Hydra.
Oh,
undercover. He was undercover as a Hydra agent.
Nice save, Marvel.
But anyway,
in the elevator, I remember.
Yeah. More really bad facial drawings. I mean, look at She-Hulk over here. It's just, it's awful.
Even
you wouldn't want to say that to her face, but
it's strange. Like her abs are weird.
Yeah.
Of course, I don't know what abs look like. I don't have any.
That's the only way to know what things look like too.
I've never seen them up close.
What are these lines on her stomach? Why is it in a big smooth barrel? Anyways. But yeah, no, I agree with you. The art's a little strange, and it doesn't get better.
Yeah.
No.
Like her nose literally changes between two frames.
You're right.
All
yes.
of these frames.
The bottom
every
right
frame is different.
Yeah.
It's like, what shape
well,
is her
you
nose?
haven't seen her in motion. Maybe her nose moves around as she talks.
That's her power. Is her nose just swirls like
She's
this?
actually got a piece of glass right in front of her face.
Yes. That would be a great movie magic trick.
You think she's trying to, she lives with this dude who is apparently Red Skull.
Or Spider-Man. I'm still unclear.
It becomes very clear on the next page.
Oh, wait, what? Okay.
I have all sorts of ideas.
This is me looking at this for the first time. I assumed that was Doctor Strange she was with. So I'm very surprised.
Anyone that has sidebars of gray.
Yeah, they're either. So here's how you tell the difference between Doctor Strange and Mr. Fantastic.
And Red
Doctor
Skull.
Strange. Doctor Strange has a goatee. And is a magician, not a scientist.
Yeah, I was gonna say, doesn't one of them stretch a lot?
He's not stretching all the time.
So
maybe
is Red Skull? I mean, is Red Skull a mask? Or
so they want you to believe it here that it's a mask, but there's no way a human face could look like this.
It's a great mask. It makes his nose disappear and everything.
And his lips too. It's like
yeah. I can't imagine any other noise but that for this panel. And I love that he's yelling, I have all sorts of ideas. Like,
yeah.
That's how that's the sign is that someone has a bad idea.
It harkens back to these Cartoon Network Adult Swim cartoons with those high-pitched villain voices. I have all sorts of ideas.
Bum, bum, bum. Like in the background.
I might use this at work.
With the mask, please.
Next time someone goes, how are we going to do that? I have all sorts of ideas.
Yeah, I'm telling you, every single time someone wants an idea from you at work, just tell them, you know what I read in this comic once, and just go from there. They'll stop asking you for ideas after a while.
When I tell everyone, hey, I gotta run an errand for about 30 minutes, everyone just replies, enjoy the comic shop.
Nice. They're like your comic drug dealer.
Yeah, it was Alex Ross on the cover.
Okay. Variant covers. Okay. All in there.
So what did we think of this comic book, Murray?
So
far,
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
impressed.
Murray.
I mean, for
So-
Red Skull to be able to do that.
I think I talked to you, Marcel, a little bit about this before we started, and I still, this was a lot to read. I'll say that there was
Yes.
a whole lot of conversation that happened in the middle of this
Mm.
comic.
Yes.
I think this hits a couple of the high points for me, which is, did it make me want to read the next one? Yeah, I'm at least slightly interested in what's going on, so I'll probably check out the next one. Did it move the characters forward? I feel like they did a good job of moving Cap forward.
Sure.
But not like, I don't understand what the bad guys are doing. I think I said it earlier. It kind of felt like they're just being jerks for the sake of being jerks. Like,
Okay.
they're just like, I want a chaotic America. I have all sorts of ideas.
So I will explain real quick.
Sure, please
Red
do.
Skull in this series is very much a Trump character.
That's
And
what
so
we're going for.
He has
Got
a
it.
big following. The people are angry, blah, 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 blah. They're protesting in an angry way. And Cap and his team view themselves as peacekeepers. So they don't want this to get out of control and anyone to storm the Capitol, in other words.
Sure. It felt like that. It really felt like Captain America's coming to save the Capitol building.
Is this a little on the nose to some degree? Like, yeah, you got people planting bombs in the corner of the building, which happened at the Capitol.
I love that picture of Captain America.
Ripping his clothes off due to the speed that he's running.
It's just how it goes.
This is the real, Captain America for you.
He looks like, if you look at the panel right above him, where you see Captain America, and then you look at the Captain America in the bottom panel, they're totally different people.
I didn't think it was the same person. And
Yeah.
I
If they
didn't read this
weren't
comic,
wearing the,
so I had to
if they
look
weren't
back and
wearing the
forth.
same clothes, I would have been extremely confused.
Yeah.
Yeah. Human faces, not their strong point.
Who is the artist on this? I'm gonna write a strongly worded letter.
In the form of a comic book.
They didn't put him in there.
Yeah.
They're like, oh. Maybe graphic designer? Is that what
Yeah, it's
they're
gotta
calling
be.
it?
Well, it's
Oh.
so much is digital now, so they can't call
Yeah.
it like penciler, like Apple Penciler.
No, that's
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I thought that the story was unimaginative
Mhm.
and the villains weren't villain enough.
Okay.
Like as in Red Skull and who's this? You know who this is in the second
Is it-
panel down?
Is it Agatha?
It is Agatha.
Oh.
I know who that is. I certainly didn't
Agatha,
have, I certainly didn't have to Google it a whole bunch after.
Agatha
WandaVision.
used to babysit for the Fantastic Four.
Ooh.
Yes, I learned that on Wikipedia.
Oh. So someone
Very-
else learned it and wrote it.
Yeah.
And they were your teacher.
Whoever they are.
I
This is where's my annotation? Is it mouse? No, whatever. I can't for some reason I can't figure out how to draw anymore. It's like
You
no,
know-
you had your chance. Oh, there it is. There it is.
it's called Draw.
Yeah. I can't like click on it anymore. Maybe I'll close it and reopen
It
it.
might be selected already or something.
Yeah. Anyways.
I'll
Give this a 2.5. middle of the road for me.
So it's gonna start asking a lot of the questions that are asked by Middle America, right? Like, why are the good guys attacking Americans? Right? There you go, Rob. You got it. What?
It's just like his expression is not what they're that expression I feel like is not what they're actually trying to convey in that panel. Like, forget this.
Yeah. This webcam works.
What? It's like, what do you mean the government can look in my webcam?
I'm wearing a mask.
It's like, is this what the mask looks like?
I didn't realize I forgot to sign out of my schoolwork.
I also really love sad Captain America. He's like,
yeah.
Who again looks like a different person.
Yes.
Yeah.
Again.
This is the 7th Captain America we've seen in this comic.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't like it really. I thought it was very contrived from the news. It should have had in the beginning, straight from headlines.
Put that right on the cover.
How does a Capitol officer feel?
Clickbait.
Clickbait.
The next page shows another Alex Ross, and it's kind of cool with the Red Skull. You know, you can almost see that it's like a hardened mask.
Not according to the comic.
Right.
But it's very clearly supposed to be that here.
Yeah, I think yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. This is very classic Alex Ross. And what's unfortunate is that when a comic is doing badly, they get Alex Ross to do the cover because they know that they'll sell copies.
Hey, they're right. They're beautiful covers. It's like,
yeah,
you kind of want that in your collection just to see the cover.
Yeah, I'll tell you, most sales today of comics are because of the cover. Very few people read the comics.
Right.
They rely on that one guy to read it and then write a synopsis on like comicbook.com.
Or you two guys and tell me about it as we go through it.
Right.
Hey, they want to hear from you, Marcel. Look, it's right down there.
Oh.
I'm
going to email him now.
Mark your letters okay to print.
Dear son of a bitch.
I love and mark your letters okay to print for a chance to see them answered in future issues. What were you thinking? Or start it with where do you get off doing that?
Please print this. All right.
Must print.
All right. You guys want to do Superman or Avatar? It's not going to get better. That was the best comic we have.
Oh.
You know what? Let's save Superman for last.
All right.
That's what she said.
Okay,
we can go through this very quickly. This is
I'm not gonna make any friends with this comic.
This is
like
a 40-page comic.
It was
80-page comic.
It was huge.
And stupid.
And did not need to be.
Yeah, it could have been one page.
Like, there is so much filler in
Isn't
this
it about
comic.
a blind character? So shouldn't it just be all black pages? Or
yeah. So
with word bubbles.
I read this comic and I don't remember a blind character.
Oh, the main character is blind.
She is?
They don't make it obvious.
Why does she keep looking at things when
they assume
they move?
So it's something they only really explain in the show, that she can the reason she's always barefoot is she can feel so much through the ground that she pretty much knows where everything is. But like, and she's a lot of people's favorite character.
What?
From Airbender.
The movie?
Yes, the movie.
This is us with this comic. I'm bored.
Yeah. So for people who are wondering, the story of this is that she's now this Earthbender Academy like teacher, and essentially
this
leader.
is a she.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, she's like a little girl.
I thought it was a guy.
Oh no, and everything's going so well with it that she's like, I'm bored. So she finds these like underground bending fights to go crash and finds this lava bender. And she's like, what is this?
She built a city or a training ground for metal bending on like borrowed funds, like someone funded her.
Yes.
And she built the whole place. And she has so much money that she doesn't know what to do with it anymore.
Yeah, and like the only characters from Avatar not in this are the characters that people really like, which were Avatar Ong. And
Aang. Isn't it Aang?
Aang is the correct way, but I wanted to piss people off by saying Ong, which is what they said in the movie.
Aang.
And the girl whose name I can't remember, Katara.
Was the inclusion of the music guy really necessary? Like he brought nothing to the story.
Like eventually he was kind of like I think they had a deep conversation that I skimmed through, where he's like, you just have to do what you love and find new things in it that make you excited to do it. And then she's like, okay, I'm gonna go look at underground fighting.
Okay, I'm gonna go be a lesbian.
But it just I like Avatar The Last Airbender. That show is great. I enjoy it a lot. This I felt was extremely unnecessary. Like just
so answer me this question about
the art was okay to me. I'll say that.
I thought so.
The art was the art stuck to the art style they had in the show.
Yes.
And it did a good job of conveying action in some scenes.
Except I can't
panels.
tell the difference between men and women, apparently.
Well, they're all like children.
You'd have trouble in the show too until you hear them talking, I think.
Yeah.
So here's my question: Is bending of objects and things and air and water and rock and metal and lava, is it like rock, paper, scissors? Because that's how they represent it in this comic book. Like,
I want to say it very much felt that way.
Like, oh, you're rock, I'm gonna beat you with lava. Oh, you're wind, I'm gonna beat you with water.
So as far as we know, this person that they found is the only person that's lava ever.
And they don't really change their bending powers. That's what the Avatar's job is, to have all of them.
So did he not do a good job because he didn't have lava bending and metal bending?
He didn't do a good job because he ran away. Like that was his major flaw, is that he ran away. The Avatar's job is to be born into whatever tribe. So he was born into the air tribe, was airbending. And then his job from there is to go in order and learn the other elements and then kind of help keep a balance between everyone. But in the show, he runs away because he's like, I don't want this responsibility. And then gets frozen. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know. Maybe the story wasn't that good. But
he gets a wish dragon, right? He's got a wish dragon.
Sure.
Like
who doesn't?
Now it's
like from Never Ending Story.
And from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Really,
everyone gets a wish dragon.
All shows can be fixed by having a wish dragon.
Okay. This is not remarkable.
No, I liked the art. I'll give it a 1.5 or a 2.
I have another question about airbending or bending in general.
Sure.
It seems to me from the center section that if they can't use their hands or arms, they can't bend anything.
Very often that is the case, yes.
That seems very limiting.
Oh yeah. happens in the show quite a bit. And what's funny for them to so heavily feature like metal bending and lava bending in this, like I think it gets away from the show where it's very clear that there are 4 main types of bending, which is earth, water, fire, wind, and that all these other ones are like weird offshoots. So like an earthbender can learn to metal bend, can learn to lava bend.
Yes.
And in the grosser, like extended version, water benders can actually learn blood bending. And they can control people.
That's awful.
Yeah, there's these. I assume airbenders eventually learn like fart bending, and they could cause people to have flatulence.
Or cloud bending. Look,
and then
giraffe.
Fire also, I think, gets lightning for like extreme forms of fire bending.
I
control lightning also.
They clearly don't understand the difference between electricity and fire.
They really made it seem more like these alternate forms of bending were like the mainstream thing. Like they did more metal bending and lava bending in this comic than they did earth bending.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I don't know. Like I said, I thought the art was good, but I thought the story was stupid. So I'll give it like I said, like a 1.5.
Yeah, I mean, admittedly for me,
I don't want to read the next one. I'll say that.
I'm not an Airbender fan, but I'll tell you, after going through this adventure, I don't understand why exactly he was happy to go back to school. He's like, "What?
It's a she."
Yeah, prove it. Prove it.
I'm sure you can prove it. The internet's full of stuff you don't want to see.
Oh, come on. In the internet, Captain America's a woman. Also in the comics.
That's true.
Yeah, I enjoyed the adventure this little guy went on. And I thought it was completely pointless and nonsense. And I give it a 1.
Yeah. No,
I like that it's Dark Horse Comics and Nickelodeon together.
Because when you think Nickelodeon, you think Dark Horse Comics. Interesting. Yeah.
So this comic book was written by Faith Evan Hicks, and she specializes in kind of teenage and younger books.
Super Adventures of Superhero Girl in Nameless City. Okay.
So it is a really long book. So I don't know. Maybe that's what the demographic wants is I've only got this much money. I want a long comic book to read.
Yeah, maybe they're trying to hit that graphic novel market. So I have one more bending question.
Okay.
Or more about Airbender than bend.
Oh, great.
Is it also filled with pointless interactions with musicians or other such people?
There are episodes that are like weirdly focused on things that are dumb, like this, like going to a music festival or something. But normally, like something horrible happens, and they're like, "Okay, action." This very much focused on this music guy. This is how I felt like reading the comic most of the time.
I thought you were saying this is a good. Wait, what sex is this person?
I
don't know. You don't know who that is.
I think that's a girl.
And this is a guy, right?
Yeah, that's a dude.
Okay.
So
I feel like they should put them in certain color clothing so you can easily identify male versus female.
What they do is put them in color clothing so you can easily identify what kind of bending or what tribe they come from.
So it's like gang warfare.
So water tribe, Earth Tribe, Fire Tribe.
I see.
That was probably, I just realized how I think off that's going to seem, me circling the things and saying them at the same time. But
That was fine.
yeah.
All right.
And then there's all these losers in the background.
Murray, do you have an opinion of score-wise?
In the 10 minutes you've been able to look at this?
Okay, so I like that it kept the art style and the facial expressions from the show, because that is a really fun thing that they, it's kind of the comedic aspect of the show is in those things. There's always comedy in the Airbender show, not always in the follow-up Korra Avatar show, but in the Airbender show, there's always comedy. So I noticed a few things that were kind of funny throughout. It feels like it's an extended kind of episode that gets a little lost and boring. I would say probably 2. I would rate it a 2, but
you loved it.
Well, it's like I can clearly see that it's from the show.
Yes.
It looks like it could have been an extended episode, but it just wasn't that fun or interesting to thumb through.
Yeah.
I think the musician guy might be the father of the water guy.
No. Father of the water guy's dead.
But did the musician guy pretend to die and kill someone else and say, dude. All right.
Let's hope that that's what's happened and they left that out of the show.
Let's move on to a comic where that might actually happen, known as Superman Worlds of War.
Murray, what do you think of this cover?
Oh, it's a great cover.
I agree.
I thought it was very Ben Affleck.
Okay.
It does have a Batfleck feel to it.
I mean, there's a lot of things you can read from this cover. Like clearly, he's being forced to do this, been there a long time. Superman doesn't always have a beard, chained up. And yeah, you're looking for some awesome action in this.
So we complained about the gray hair last time.
Yeah, so he's somehow
aged a million
aging
years.
At a normal rate, maybe.
I believe he is, at least in this, he's on a planet where there's not I think it's a red sun. So I think he's
I think that's why they go for the red look, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's featuring Clark Kent. So he'll get a suit and tie and hat in this one, glasses.
I'm trying to remember if they mention Clark Kent in this at all, or show him as Clark Kent.
The featuring is the secondary and tertiary stories that show up.
Sure.
So
Black Racer. That must be the one I never read.
Racist.
Believe me, that's not the reason.
His neck thing.
Oh yeah. Big.
Okay.
It's massive.
I have not seen a single thing in this comic book that is Superman size or smaller. And yet he is maxing out that neck. They must have made it just for him.
They must have. I mean, it is Darkseid, right? Like they bring that out, like that it's captured him here. So
it's like they bring a guy
I measured and Superman,
measures his neck. It goes out to the designer. He designs it. What do you think?
It's funny. I think this comic made me realize, and I think it's the same for a lot of comic books, and it's not something I've really noticed, is in DC just how obsessed the villains are with the hero.
Yeah.
Darkseid is absolutely obsessed over Superman. Same with like Joker is absolutely obsessed over Batman, and like all they think of is, how can I be evil just to spite the hero?
Right. What is Superman not like? I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. They're like, I'm just gonna, you know what? Going from the cover that I love to this to art that I was just like, what's going on here?
It's a shock. Yes.
they were like, okay, put a lot of effort into nothing when you draw this.
Yeah, I mean, okay, we could talk all day about how she wears her pants, but what is
Sure.
happening in the frame, like the second frame down, where her neck is disjointed from her body?
Yeah, she's like,
She's-
And why is
It's
she
just
putting
like-
on Spider-Man's web shooters?
It's Wonder Woman.
yeah, this is the new
She's the new Wonder Woman.
new Wonder Woman, the younger.
Well, then how is she going to use spider webs to do Wonder Woman things?
You never. Maybe they shoot golden lassos.
Also notice her size 15 shoe.
Yeah, like nothing about this page made me want to read this comic
Yeah.
or book. They certainly make it seem real thick in that, like down here, like this looks massive.
Yeah.
That's what she said.
I drew like a bean.
It is a new graphic novel.
Oh, okay. All
for
right.
young
But still,
adults.
just like I feel like this could have been a cool page, but like the
No.
art sucked. They could have done a much
Well,
better job
I
of making
think-
me want to read that.
Unfortunately, that's the reality that we're facing with DC now, is that there's a lot of inexperienced artists cutting their
Oh,
teeth
sure.
on some very big titles. So
Hmm.
it's just the way it is.
So this continues off from that from the
Mhm.
last one, I guess, and
Yeah.
in a way where she was in Smallville, and now she's like, okay,
She
I-
stormed off from that like group meeting.
I don't agree with what's going on here. How they were like
Um,
idolizing Clark Kent, and
And she goes into what, because everyone was talking about how Superman saved them from blah 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 blah, and she goes into why that she says that Clark Kent saved her, like not Superman. And she kind of goes into this story about an article that Clark Kent wrote in
Mhm.
the newspaper. And they weirdly start linking it, and they make it a little more clear as you get further in that Clark has been taken to that war world, and how I think the article at least is like Clark writing about a guy who his entire life all he did was he went to war, or anyways, they link it up with Superman in that it doesn't matter his situation or how
Yeah.
powerful it is. Superman is Superman, and with his powers or not, he will fight to save people. And they kind of connect it with the guy that
Are you sure he's a guy?
that Clark Kent, not who knows after the Avatar comic. Yeah,
who was
but
behind
they did a good
Superman in the
job.
last comic. Like he's trying to save him no matter what.
I still think if you take out the first section of this comic,
Yeah.
the first one in the first issue, this one again in the second issue, that I'd be enjoying this comic, and it would be the best for me. It would be the best comic we would have read so far.
More of a storytelling.
Yeah, and at least a setting up of, like, I enjoy the art style. It feels like an interesting story that at least continues to draw you into like what's going on, but they, once again, and we'll get there,
Yeah.
the rest is garbage.
What did you guys think of like they make the bubbles here look like torn newspaper?
Oh, it's great. He's
No,
he's
I like
reading the
that.
newspaper with his
Yeah.
with his cell phone flashlight, and you get to kind of read it along with him while they're panning to another planet where Superman is, and it's reflecting the story on what's going on with Superman. It's a really nice touch.
Yeah, I actually think that this intro to this comic was done better than the first one.
Mhm. I'd agree with you there.
Because it felt like the pacing was right.
Mm-hmm. And it connects the stories together.
Yeah.
Really, obviously. And you can almost hear it transition, like if it was a movie, like
Mhm.
the voice reading this as it like the camera pans through the universe going to this other planet.
I do wish that this wasn't the first scene that you saw.
Sure.
Yeah.
They're like,
it's a little bit of that Aquaman
Yeah.
Cartoon Network
Yeah.
Adult Swim dance pose. Dun, 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 dun.
Crotchless Superman fighting again.
no, thank goodness it's not crotchless. I'm glad that his pants very much have a crotch to cover what's going on there.
There's a lot of S going on.
Yes.
S on the chest,
Yes.
S on the
Yes.
belt.
Like, just in case one gets ripped off, he still has another
You
identity.
still know who it is.
It's just funny because like it's very clearly that like Darkseid gave him this outfit, and he's like, yeah, it still needs the S.
Again,
obsessed with
Marcel
Superman.
Taylor goes over and all right, let's see how big this S belt needs to be.
Now, would you like the S or would you like just the strike? How thick would the band be?
Yeah. And yeah,
Okay, here's my question. Like, your Darkseid, you're gonna have this bare-chested guy fighting who knows what, but you're gonna give him a cape and you're gonna give him leggings. Like,
I don't know that those are leggings. I think those are just his.
no, there's no
his
way
legs.
he's that smooth.
Darkseid maybe shaves him at night. Who knows? I killed Marcel.
Oh, I just don't know. Like, it seems look, I mean, I own a lot of Superman comics. I own 4,000 something Superman comics.
Ooh. That's a lot.
And it never makes sense. Not a single Superman comic makes sense because they all work against each other. Like, the suit is all over the place, the powers are all over the place, the relationships are all over the place.
He lives a wild life, Marcel.
Sometimes a Superman's just got to be free.
You know what this tells me more than anything else about DC? Is they made that comic where Lois Lane like is a whatever for the world, ambassador for the world, and Superman shows up. They literally told the guy on World of War, just ignore what that other guy's doing.
Yes.
It's gonna go nowhere. You do you.
Yeah.
Absolutely no sense at all. Look, I don't think this is bad. Once you've bought into the fact that Superman's getting his butt handed to him, you're okay with it. I will say that the bad guys are remarkably uninteresting. Like this guy. Wait, I'm gonna draw him.
I think they're supposed to be.
This
I mean,
guy,
just in that, like, they're just like. No, well, that guy's the guy he's trying to save.
Yeah, he's the wimp.
He always has the same expression on his face.
he's just constantly screaming.
Yes.
He's just like, Superman,
help me, Superman.
I
Help
mean,
me,
you
baby
could
Jesus.
tell, I think it's the next. Is it the next panel? No, because they go back to them, and she's like, "Hey, we're going to the real Kent farm, not the museum one."
I like
Superman gets his face slashed.
So for a while, it was illegal as a DC artist to make Superman bleed.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I understand.
So
that.
It's a little strange. There was this time in which they started to bring it back, and I think when they were making Batman v Superman the movie, while filming, it was still, taboo to make Superman bleed. So they went through the death of Superman story arc, but he didn't bleed during the death. Whereas when you look at the comics, because they were from the 90s, he obviously had to. And then after that movie came out, it started to go back to this, where, okay, he can bleed if
So I think it was part of the licensing agreement.
It was funny because it was also a storytelling element. Do you
Yes.
bleed? Batman asks, and it was an odd answer, like no.
Depends on my contract.
Yes, exactly.
Depends on who's asking.
I think they figured out that people like Thor's eye, and they were like, let's take Superman's eye too.
That's funny.
I don't know. I mean, I get it, right? Lots of violence. I don't know. I think
There's a lot of red ink on this one.
Yeah. Well, I think to Rob's point, it's a red sun, right? And it's a very big red sun.
And apparently it's an outdoor fight because that's why it's so red.
It is. They show in the very first page, they show of this battle, they show the arena is open air.
And I think Darkseid points it out when he finally steps in and is like,
anyone got chicken?
I think he kills everyone. He kills.
Yes.
He kills everyone who's not Superman, and he's like, "You idiot!" And he's like, I love it. He's like, he says, "You did not bloody a single fighter. Like, why even have the sword at all?" Like he's trying to get Superman to kill someone, and he just won't. Wait, did he kill the guy he was trying to save? I think that's what he did.
Yeah. He killed everyone, but he killed him from his Iron Man chest piece
that he now has.
Yep.
It kind of looks like a lantern chest piece.
It does. I was like,
when I first saw it, I was like, oh, but it's wrong. Like, there's no lantern symbol that looks like that.
Yeah, there wasn't.
Darkseid lantern. Dumb.
My favorite is when people pronounce it Dark Seed.
Gross.
Murray.
They'll say that in the Snyder cut. It'll be great.
Dark Seed. Maybe that's so you can grow more dark sides.
This is an odd scene for me.
Yeah, well, I think it weirdly emphasizes. Well, one, I don't know why he gives Superman the boots. So maybe they are leggings. Like,
yeah,
like I said, it
like a nice pair of moccasins would have been.
Sure. It seems like he's putting Superman through different scenarios, or like, I don't know. I'll read the next one.
I did like Superman's left arm has got some slack in the chain. Like, he's not particularly trying very hard to keep Superman there. He's like, come on, break free.
He actually built it for someone else. She cries when they find like his Superman spaceship.
Why?
Something happens here. Yes, so Superman's back fighting again. He's got an axe this time.
If Batman told him anything, he needs a trident or a spear.
So he calls this person Mongol. That's
what I was realizing just now. I think I kept saying Darkseid, and it's Mongol.
Is there a difference?
I don't know. I don't know enough about DC.
One of them wears a hat.
And the other one's very worried about measurements for clothes. Are we going to talk about Mr. Miracle?
I kind of read it. Does that help?
I mean, okay, let's not talk about it. It was bad. It was bad.
Unfortunately, that's going to be my take away from the rest of this. It's just like,
Hmm.
I guess this was kind of interesting, flashing to Jonathan, but the art felt weird to me.
Yeah, I
And the
think
fact that
that's the theme of DC.
the fact that
lately.
I know I read this whole thing, and I actually don't really remember what they talked about in that panel, that page. So
I mean, so they're trying to bring Mr. Miracle and or Jonathan Kent together. I just don't care enough. That's the problem. I don't care enough. Speaking of not caring enough, Midnighter.
There was nothing about Midnighter I cared about.
I call him Discount Batman.
Yeah, he lost his ears.
Yeah. If you can't afford Batman, you hire Midnighter.
He'll use the gun. He'll get the job done fast.
Yeah.
If you want killing Batman, you get Midnighter.
Yeah. It was just completely uninspired.
Sure.
Although I did appreciate the guy's ears hanging off his head.
And he's like, ah. And Midnighter seemed upset. Because I guess that's his like looks like his husband or something.
I'm a baby.
I haven't read this, but there's a lot of strange things going on in these panels.
Yeah. No, nothing about this was good.
He goes from young to old.
Yeah.
That other guy's a T1000.
Yeah. There's two of them. Hello, me.
Okay, this is strange. Goes from a 1-on-1 to a 2-on-1, but the two are the same person.
So it's not gay. It's yourself. And this was extremely strange.
Yeah. I guess he's escaping. Like, that's what I got from those pages.
I don't like that the first story is getting shorter and shorter and shorter, and the other stories are getting longer and longer and longer.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, even at the end of the other one, it says to be continued in Superman House of L.
Interesting.
So it may not even continue. Like, is World of War like a 2? Is it only supposed to run for 2?
Yes. It's a 2 of 2. Yeah.
So if we want to continue that story, then we're looking at House of L to really get to it, which bothers me on a level. So overall, this gets like, I'm sorry, but like, the story in the front isn't saving this comic as a whole.
No.
Like, this is getting maybe a 1 for me. If I was to judge that first story, putting it together with the first issue, it'd probably be it might even be like a 3-5 for me. Maybe pushing on a 4. Depends on where they go with it, but
I feel like I'm getting worse.
But as a whole comic, I don't.
These.
Right.
I feel like I'm getting worse at scoring these because it's dumbing me down to the point that a subpar story is a good story now.
Sure.
And I think it was mentioned last time we went through a future state, which is, this is just letting other artists and story writers like kind of get their comic sold too, like attach it onto the back of a Superman one.
So the main story writer and artist has to share his income with all these people.
Oof.
Yeah. They sell as a comic and they split the proceeds as a comic.
It just doesn't add anything to the book. They could sell the Superman one on its own.
Yeah. It's I think it's disappointing because we're seeing it for Future State across the board. Even Dark Detective, which we enjoyed,
Yeah, it went the same direction.
with the same way. I mean, Future State is extremely hard to read. All of them, even when you're enjoying some of the stories, yeah, it's hard to read.
I wonder what was different in the Silver Age. So the 60s, 70s, 80s, maybe, where you had more than one Superman story in a comic book.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, and they're completely unrelated and don't even make sense that they're in the same comic book. It was like, Superman saves Krypton, Superman gets a dog, and Superman goes to his high school prom, right?
Right.
Completely unrelated, but it worked. Like Superman sold copies like crazy because they were all good. I can't believe they're all good.
And I think they also didn't have to connect to be continued sort of things.
Yeah.
Like here's just another point in time in Superman's life. We're jumping in and seeing something interesting happen.
Yeah, I mean, often they would overlap, but like they'd be during the same time frame. Superman is next door churning butter.
Like, could this call to? And I know, Marcel, you've said multiple times that you believe that the death of Superman ruined comics. And I don't know where this ended up coming from, but could it have been that they were better because there wasn't an expectation of a continued storyline? It was more that they were just telling a story. You got the story that they wanted to tell in one comic.
Yeah.
And since there's a satisfaction in starting a story and ending a story, that if that's what you were expecting every week, yeah, you probably picked up the comic every week because you at least knew you were going to get that satisfaction. Even if
More
the stories
about the
weren't
adventure.
right. It was that it, and maybe you're right. Like, do I care about Superman went to his prom? Like, no, I probably don't care about that. But they told the whole story, and they told the story they wanted to tell.
Yeah.
And now we're getting comics where we don't want to just sell one comic. We want to sell 40 comics. And so we need to stretch out the story. And so they're not all going to be good. Then maybe the whole thing won't be good.
I think what sucks for me is that this World of War could have been a one shot. It could have been one comic with the entire story in it.
Sure.
But they split it in two. And then
and then stopped World of War. And now if you want to continue that story, you gotta go get House of L.
Yeah.
Which I haven't touched House of L at all. So I won't know what's going on there. But I'll skip through that stuff to read the the continuation of the World of War.
I think for me, like Archie and Veronica comic books are the only one that has now continued on that kind of multiple stories in a comic book, unrelated to each other, just a good romp. Like just a good romp through the neighborhood. It's just really painful to watch a company go through this.
Sure.
And what's sad is that it's not like Marvel's like breaking any records with their writing and their pictures, but whatever. The competition is weak and they still can't win. Anyhow, did you guys want to? So it's been an hour. If you guys want to take the next 12 minutes and talk about WandaVision 7.0.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yep.
There's still
I can see my my ribs smoking outside right now in my
nice
live video feed, so I know they're all good. I have
and
more time to chat.
There's still a good amount of time before my Wingstop gets here.
I I did a juice cleanse for about 3 hours, and then
Okay.
I had Popeyes.
You're like, then I needed. You're like,
That's
then I
just
needed-
drinking some juice, Marcel. It's different.
It was so gross. It was so
Juice isn't-
gross.
Juice should be good tasting, though.
It was mostly kale and celery.
Oh,
that's why it
Yeah.
was bad.
gotta throw some orange in there.
Or
Mostly
like-
orange.
A bunch of peanut butter.
Chocolate.
and a chocolate cake.
Yeah.
You need a whipped cream on top, and then you're gonna love this juice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's stop sharing this mess.
Ooh.
So the winning comic this week is the Superman comic.
Yes.
No? Or is it
Over. If
Avatar.
you go with an overall,
overall? It's Avatar.
For me, it was the Cap one.
I'm gonna go with the Adventures of the Male Metalbender as my favorite. Okay.
I'll vote for Superman, I guess.
Okay.
For
So,
the- The Gender Bender, like from Futurama.
Okay, WandaVision. So I hate modern day sitcoms.
Yeah.
And this drove the point home as to why I hate them. Because the show went from Wanda being outwardly interesting or outwardly interested to it's all about me.
Right.
I need time. I can do this. I can't fix it. You know what I mean? Like, but whatever. So
I think I said it. I can't remember if I said it in our group chat or where. I never remember where I have any conversations apparently.
on the
But
shower floor.
yeah, on the floor of the shower. So I enjoyed this episode as part of the whole story, but it did make me realize that there's a reason I don't watch new sitcoms. Because that narrative style, like The Office did it and did it well. Parks and Recreation did it to a
Degree.
They started it and then it fell off near the last seasons.
Yeah.
And then Modern Family does it all the time. And it, like, I don't know why, but it annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah.
And like it shouldn't have been, and it didn't take away from the whole thing for me. Like I still thought it was good and I enjoyed the episode, but it did make me realize that style of sitcom I'm more annoyed by than entertained by.
What do you think, Murray?
Yeah, I mean, I can see why you had to go there, you know, because of how the arc is going.
Yeah.
But it's not nostalgia enough for me to have had enjoyed it. The rest of the series was super kind of fun, and they're really like having fun with the nostalgia piece of it. And this one, maybe it's because it's so recent, and maybe it's because that's not the type of show I watch that much or am interested in these days. It just was like, okay, yeah, I get why they're doing it, and maybe that's why this is the episode where where the crossover between having a regular episode of things and then cut to real life outside the dome is like this mixture of everything falling apart.
Yeah.
Because you just can't hold on to that story of this is a TV show, you know, too long with that style of show.
Yeah, and they even said in this episode when they were outside the hex that the broadcast is gone.
Yep, that's
Like,
what I was just thinking too.
It stopped broadcasting, so it's no longer a show to people on the outside. And I think and maybe kind of hope going forward that they've now mixed it enough where Rambo,
Photon.
her first name, yeah, Photon, that's where that's going. We know that's where it's going.
Well, she already proved it.
Yeah,
when she looks at the power lines, she can actually
like the
suck in
electromagnetic
that power if she wanted to.
Oh, really?
And
Ooh.
blast
She'll figure
it at
that out.
people. Yeah.
And she did like the superhero landing when she
Yeah.
got thrown
Yeah.
to the ground.
Yep.
And so
So it was
I
Superman
hope
landing.
going forward they're just like it's less about making it sitcom-y and they just go with the story from here.
Yeah.
This is where it all broke down. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so.
It's the Superman landing for Superman's like this. Ding, 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 ding.
It's true. Superman doesn't do the superhero landing. He's just like, boom, Superman's here.
And he does that with his hand too.
Yeah, he should. He should just come in and be like, hey, everybody, it's me, Superman. I don't know what this means.
He lands like that, and then he does this with his hand.
Yeah,
So
and you know
that-
what's funny? No one's going to question it. What are they going to be like? What are you doing, Superman? Like, just be like, I'm just glad you're here. Can you please keep me from dying?
Get my cat out of the tree.
Okay, so we got to meet Harkness
That was cool. I mean, obviously.
and her admission to killing the cat. I mean the dog.
The dog, yes, which is a cardinal sin for television or movies.
I love, and this is maybe just me and the internet. I love the memes that have come out of her and the it was Agatha all along, and
Yes.
like, oh, I killed the dog. Like
Yeah.
there are
very
so
funny
many
sequence.
memes that have come out of that have been just absolutely excellent. Like the fact that she played a character in Parks and Recreation, and there's a scene where she claims that Leslie Knope is a dog murderer.
Right.
And so she's like, oh, like, does it say that Leslie Knope is a dog murderer? And then they cut to the scene of her going, and I killed the dog. It has been a meme firestorm that I have enjoyed.
I thought
But
it was
I do enjoy them. I don't know where they're going because they showed a lot of interesting stuff in that basement. They showed
even
some
in the house in general.
Yeah, they showed some symbols. They made it very clear that they looked at that book that was like on a pedestal
with Wanda's powers glowing around it, not Agatha's.
Yeah, because it was a glowy red,
Yeah.
as opposed to the purple it was very prominent.
What do you think happened to Wiccan and Speed? Because when they cut to the cicada is actually screaming in a human voice.
Oh, is it? I've got to turn that up or something. I just thought, I'm like, oh, it's making cicada noises.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah, because there are a couple other animals there. There's the bunny. Wanda keeps making that bird appear for some reason.
Right. The stalk.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I think has happened to them. I don't know if they are trying to imply that she has changed Speed into the bunny and Wiccan into the cicada on the wall.
So a couple people have theories. Mephisto uses a fly on the wall as his cover. Speed has been changed into a bunny before.
Oh.
As kind of an irony thing. The cicada could be Wiccan because he told her, which she kind of took offense to, you're so quiet inside.
Oh, yeah.
So a cicada's never quiet.
Oh, yeah.
So
I'm a cicada.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, in the comic books, Wiccan and Speed die.
Yes.
Oh.
And get absorbed by a Mephisto. So, and then Wanda brings them back to life. So I don't know. I thought it was a really good episode.
Yeah.
I like the fact that Monica, that's her name,
Monica
didn't just drive through the front with that big hexagon-shaped truck.
I kind of love that it failed.
Yeah. I also look, I'm a huge fan of Kat, whatever her name is.
Kat Dennings.
Yeah. And I like that she kept her personality as the character in the circus that she was.
Right.
And when she was freed, it was like right back to being Darcy again. She waits for the road crew to clear instead of just driving around them.
You're right. I did love the point in which Vision was like,
I'm done.
Hold up, like, wait, what am I doing here? He like takes the microphone off of.
What's very funny about that too is he was like you imagine those things happening later, like, oh, they're filming this, and then the interview happens at another time in that show format, right? But as he realizes in the interview, wait, what am I doing here? He takes the mic off. When they cut back to him in the car, he's also at that state of mind, like instantly, and he goes, "All right, I'm out of here." And he visions out of the truck and flies away.
Yeah, it was great. I love that she's like, "Well, I guess I'll just meet you there."
Yeah.
And I think that's the last we see Vision in the episode.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't see him after that.
Yeah.
The after credit thing was just interesting from the point of they didn't show Pietro through that whole episode, or whoever he actually is.
They talked about him.
Yeah, they talk about him, and then she's like snooping around, and she opens the basement. He's like,
"Hey,
Snooper's gonna snoop," and I don't know if he's protecting the house or if he's trying to stop her, or if he's like, "Hey, let's go down there."
Did he have the purple eyes? I need to go back and look.
Yeah, I should go back and take a look. Now, Marcel, you might know this better than just because of your comic knowledge. Is Agatha of a what I would call power level to create the illusion or hex that is going on? Okay.
She is even powerful enough to motivate Wanda to create the hex.
Okay. So that may be what's going on, is that the hex is a combination of their abilities.
Okay. I think that Wanda is controlling the hex walls and the people. And Agatha's controlling Wanda doing those things. In the comic book, Wanda goes from Wanda to Scarlet Witch with the help of Agatha's training.
Gotcha.
So Agatha trains her how to use the true power of her
witchiness.
Yes. And they alluded to Agatha's beginnings. So Agatha was the head witch back in the witch hunt trials in Salem.
Yes.
And so that's why she wears the old timey witch garb, the hat and the brooch and the
just to emphasize that she's like thousands of years old.
Yeah.
Or maybe hundreds.
Or hundreds, yeah.
I think
or 800.
Yeah. She's 100. She's been alive forever.
So I'm looking forward to the next episode, but I don't know what to expect.
Yep. I'm kind of lost from here. I just hope, and I think we talked about it before the camera was on, I'm glad it's one season.
Yeah.
I'm glad that there will be some sort of closure, and let's move the characters into, okay, well, this happened. Now we'll see what happens with them in the multiverse movie.
I don't know how much closure they're going to do.
Oh, I don't think there'll be a ton, but I think it'll be enough to wrap up this.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a big bang, and you're not going to know what happened to Wanda, what happened to Agatha, what happened to Pulsar or Photon or Captain Planet.
But we know at least Scarlet Witch is in and on the cast for Multiverse of Madness.
I just don't think if another Marvel character shows up, it's going to be Doctor Strange, but I don't think he's going to show up.
Yeah, it would be weird.
Is the idea that this other Marvel character that's going to be so amazing when they show up, like just cause everyone to want to watch the next series or whatever it is that's coming out, like that kind of link.
they'll have Starsky and Hutch show up at the end.
Yeah. Known as Falcon and
Winter Soldier.
and
They'll be
Metal
like,
Arms.
we saved everybody.
I definitely don't think it's either of those guys. Like,
I hope not.
It almost could be, just one of the main characters of the Marvel movies where they're signed up for 5 minutes of an episode and they show up and they're the link between, this series and the next one.
I honestly think that it's going to be all Photon. She is
that'd be cool.
Actually as powerful as Captain Marvel.
Oh wow.
Cool. So I think she's going to knock Wanda out. And that's going to bring the Hex down. And then Wanda's going to snap out of it with the help of Vision.
Or what if
Agatha's going to be like,
what if now this would be, this probably won't happen, but because Wanda seems to be able to, conjure things in this world, and they're not always super accurate. Like she sort of thought that when her brother showed up like that, it wasn't totally weird. Like maybe I did this.
Yeah.
Maybe she tries to have, other team members show up to help her in this situation she's in. And that's how they tie in another, isn't there a leak or an announcement that they're having their Luke Skywalker moment? Like who would that, what does that even mean? I mean, that would have to be a really big character in the series.
Dead Iron Man shows up.
Yeah, like another dead character. Dead Iron Man shows up, and and then the Hex goes down, and Iron Man's gone, and
I hope when Iron Man shows up, he just falls out of the sky.
Doesn't even land. He just lays there for a minute.
Yeah, so some people have said that it might be Goliath, like a younger Goliath or something. Others have said it was the guy that partnered with Hank Pym.
Yeah.
The particles,
and he was in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
And then some have said that it's literally Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill.
That would be great. He's actually Luke Skywalker. I'm here to save you.
Where's the baby Yoda? Where's the baby Yoda?
Calls it the baby Yoda.
Aren't you a little short for a superhero?
Aren't you a little short for a Yoda?
Aren't you a little old at this point?
So he voiced in the Marvel animated series, he voiced Nightmare. And people keep calling this thing a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. This whole incident is a nightmare. Nightmare is powerful enough to have Agatha as a minion.
Interesting.
So it could literally be Nightmare showing up, who is Mark Hamill. I just don't know who, like, if you think of the character of Luke, who would that match to in the Marvel universe? Like someone who gets their powers at age 17, 18, becomes a master.
And I don't think this fits, but when you ask that to me, my gut goes to Captain America. I don't think that fits this situation well enough.
Yeah.
But it is where my mind goes immediately. But it doesn't make sense for them to be like, and then old Cap shows up. It's like no.
There's two characters that would,
or time traveling Cap.
Sure.
There's two characters that would blow the roof off the house if they had to bring him in. And that's Riri Williams, who is the new Iron Man.
Ironheart.
Or Miles Morales.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, that would I like Miles Morales, and I hope they do the MCU stuff with him, but I don't know that that's going to work here. It's like because I'm trying to think of right. No, sure. I'm just trying to think of like, what does Spider-Man showing up help?
Okay, how about this? They bring the King of Black
Oh, geez, no.
King
No,
in Black.
no. I've looked at enough King of Black comics to know that I hope that never, ever makes it into the MCU.
They could bring in America. They could bring in Miss Marvel.
That's true, because that's coming
Chavez
up.
or whatever her name is.
Uh,
You know, maybe
Yeah, I
she
can't remember her
stretches
name.
herself to the future.
yeah, she's like, we gotta go.
I just think like Mark Hamill, that moment came from the 70s. Like, what Marvel movie was from back then?
Well, I mean, it came from you never thought you'd see this character again, and here he is. And so, if you
That's the
think of it that
Quicksilver.
way, that would be, you know, I mean,
Quicksilver.
it could. Well, I mean, I'm just putting this out there. You mentioned it before. It could be Iron Man. Like, that's a character you never expect to see again.
Yeah.
He's gone. And this whole industry is moving forward,
Black
and
Widow.
maybe it's dead Iron Man coming back or something. You know, it's like that would fit in the, you know, Mark Hamill moment of things.
The thing, though, is that with the Mark Hamill moment, it made sense in the timeline. You know, you kind of went, yeah, I get it, right? It wasn't like he dies and Baby Yoda shows up and Mark Hamill resurrects himself. I don't know.
Yeah, there's also time travel here, and there's also dead people coming back to life here. And so it's like, well, you know, maybe time travel has something to do with who shows up and when, and you know, you just never knew this happened in the rest of the story.
It's Ant-Man in the quantum realm stuff.
Yeah, Ant-Man showing up. I mean, I wouldn't call that a Mark Hamill moment, but it would be fun.
Just like Mark Hamill. Oh man.
They could,
anyways,
they could introduce Jane Foster as Thor. They could do a lot of things.
That would be interesting.
Oh, that would be fun too.
Although I feel like that, for lack of a better
better
word,
leave
that steals their thunder.
Yes, it
from
does.
Love and Thunder.
Yes.
Steals
their Love and Thunder.
Yeah. Anyway, anyways, overall though, I'm enjoying the show immensely. Like,
is the next episode the last one?
No, there's 2 more.
Oh, okay. Oh.
I also was under the impression there was 8.
Okay.
And then Marcel told me there was 9, and I was like, "Oh, you're right."
Yeah, well, but Marcel's always a dirty liar, so we always have
never trust what I say. Research.
We just wait for Marcel to Google it.
Yeah,
I use Yahoo.
Marcel's my comic Google. I let him do it.
Yeah,
I found out that because I'm fat now, I can do this, and X-Men is no longer X-Men. It's now like XN.
XN.
But this is cool. It's got the Wolverine slash on the back.
Oh, that is cool.
Nice.
It does look like you've been attacked by Wolverine.
So apparently I'm black under there.
No.
All right, guys.
Cool.
Thank you for joining.
Yep. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you.
I hope one day we'll get a better set of comics. But
maybe someday in the
maybe like 80 years old.
We can
30 years.
We can do a show.
4-star.
We can do a show in the same room. That would be
in
the future. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Maybe we can draw our own comic.
Great. You can do that, Murray. Rob and I have learned how to draw.
You do that. Send it to us, and we'll rate it on the show.
Yes. Look how every person looks different.
How about this? You draw it. We'll write it. So that there's more text and characters on every page.
And then I got it. Murray will draw it. Marcel writes it. I'll color it in because that's really my skill set here. So it's great. I know how to draw within the lines.
I like that it's coloring it in. It's not colorizing.
Not coloring. No, breaking out the crayons.
I know Superman was pink in this one, but I try to make him a little more purple in this scene over here.
Yeah. It's from the purple sun.
I was like, well, I really thought they could all benefit from Hello Kitty colors. Anyways, yeah, thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Bye.
All right, bye.
All right, see ya.